We are the Town AM 1530 FM 102.3 WCTR, and it is Talking to Towns of Keith Thompson. Daniel Bongino joining us, Republican candidate for U.S. Senate, the seat currently held by Ben Cardin, and it just looks like getting more and more media exposure these days. We were just talking off mic, a big thing on the Discovery Channel, so we'll kick off with that. What's this that's coming up on the Discovery Channel?
Well, the show's called Secret Service Secrets. I should call them the not so secret Secret Service secrets, right?
No longer a secret.
Right. They found us. They saw me at an interview on Neil Cavuto on Fox News, and they called us, I guess, about 3 months ago, and said we'd love to have Dan come down and speak about some, of course, unclassified, obviously things about the Secret Service, some stories, some personal anecdotes. We said sure. We went down to D.C. We were supposed to do a 20 or 30 minute interview for maybe a 5-minute segment, and a couple minutes in they loved it. They said let's just break. They called their producer and said we want to rewrite a lot of the show around your story, and they filmed the campaign. We wound up flying out to Los Angeles, so it's a 3-hour series. It was supposed to air January 8th, but they didn't want to collide with the NFL schedule, so I think it's going to air in February, but look out for it. Discovery Channel. It's called Secret Service Secrets. It's about 3 hours, and I have a ton of good stories on there about my times in the White House. It's very illustrative of how the West Wing works. It's fantastic.
Should be interesting, and this is the kind of thing that it's in your case, kind of being an underdog and coming in, that any media exposure you get helps. Even if it's something like this that's maybe not necessarily campaign related, but goes to your Secret Service career, folks get to know a little bit more about you, and that's always something that's very important when it comes to a campaign. A lot of times it's just getting the name out there and getting the face out there, getting the voice out there, and getting people to know who you are and get to learn a little bit more about you.
And I think the voters are tired of the incumbents. We call it the incumbency disease right now. People just want a change of pace. They want real folks who've led real lives with real consequences, not necessarily career bureaucrats. I mean, that doesn't absolve you of having some resume of leadership to run, which I feel we have. I wouldn't have jumped in the race if we didn't. And I think that that series will help, like you said, to get people to know personally what my life was like. What I gave up to do this. Remember, I always say when I'm on the show, I resigned. I didn't retire, because I really felt like it was time for someone to take a chance, someone outside of the system. And it's a nice element to add to it as well, because I get to tell my stories of being involved in politics but not being a politician. Being a Secret Service agent, you see it, you're embedded in it. And for 12 years of my life I walked around the White House for 6 years while I was on the Presidential Protection Division, but I wasn't embedded in the political process, so I kind of got to see the sausage making, as they call it, up close and personal. It's interesting. You always see those shows, The West Wing. People want to know what it's like. What's a day like at the White House? And I just tell them, after a while, it's like any other job, Keith. You just get in there and you're looking at your watch, like, when does this day end?
So I guess we'll get into a lot of the details on that. Folks can check out the show on the Discovery Channel.
Yes,
so
please do.
I'll be on the lookout for that. So.
Yeah, we'll update our website when we get an air date. Like I said, it was supposed to be January 8th, but I think they'll change it to February now.
Okay. And how's the campaign going so far?
Oh, it's going great. We've had a fantastic month. We just closed out a pretty healthy quarter of fundraising. Our campaign schedule is packed. It grows by the minute. My wife is, I like to say, 10 months pregnant right now, so she is ready to give birth any day, so I have to run out of the studio. You know what it's for. So we kind of tried to keep the schedule light, but it got overwhelming, so what we did is we said, let's schedule events, but let's keep it within 50 miles of the house. That way it can get back. My mother-in-law is in town. So it's an exciting week. We've been really crowded. We did, I think, a really impressive fundraising number, considering it was the holidays. Let's face it, Keith, it's a tough economic time. I mean, it almost hurts me to ask people, can you help us out money-wise during the holidays, but the reality in politics is you have to buy megaphones. You can scream at a train station all you want. But we had a great quarter. We just surpassed our something like 850th volunteer now. We're adding an army out there, dropping literature, knocking on doors for us. We're getting out our get out the vote. We're registering people. I feel confident. I really do. I think we're doing a great job.
And the challenges of running as a Republican in a predominantly Democratic state. Talk about a little bit about that. And what do you do to overcome that?
Yeah, it's tough. There's no doubt. You're not inaccurate by saying that. There's a registration disadvantage Republicans have in Maryland. It's obvious, almost 3-1. But issues matter right now, and I think people are ready to step out of partisan ideological silos, get out of the boxes, and look at, what does Dan Bongino stand for, not what's his party label. Yeah, I don't like parties either, but the fact is, in order to run a credible political race, and this, in any state, you have to align with a party. It's the only way to do it. To run an outsider campaign, you have to be a millionaire or a billionaire to do it. And I'm not. I'm just a middle-class guy. I run as a Republican, but our ideas appeal to a lot of folks in Prince George's County, Montgomery County, Baltimore City, areas of Howard that are primarily Democrat. Things like school choice, Davis-Bacon union provisions, which don't really help a lot of the minority population in Baltimore City. Prison reform issues, drug reform issues. These are issues that matter to these folks. These aren't Republican ideas. These are ideas that citizens in Baltimore City say to me, yeah, that applies to me, that applies to my family. I'm not happy with my child's public school. School choice matters to me. It doesn't matter that I'm a Republican. So we've been very fortunate. We've gotten great feedback from those communities on those issues.
And